Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Sumana Kutoni and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada.
Schools and businesses closed in Nova Scotia as power outages persist after Fiona. Feds lift the border vaccine mandates, mandatory masks on the plane and trains. Ontario's first diverging diamond intersection opens today. Suspect identified after hidden camera found in washroom of Hamilton Tim Hortons. Canadian military deployed to assist with Fiona recovery efforts. Jolly to raise abortion and sexual violence in closing UN speech. Kyle Dubas on future with Maple Leafs, I have to be held the most accountable.
So those were the headlines. Now let's jump right into the details.
Power outages are still affecting thousands of people across Nova Scotia in the wake of the post-tropical storm Fiona. As of 2 p.m. today, there were about 7,400 power outages in the province, affecting approximately 178,000 Nova Scotia power customers. Cape Breton Island and Pictou County were particularly hit after Hurricane Fiona hit the province on Saturday, leaving a significant number of Nova Scotia power customers without the power by Sunday morning. Nova Scotia Power said crews have been working through the night to restore lines. The company tweeted that the roads need to be cleared of the fallen trees before the crews can work on restoring power. Federal Minister says all the COVID-19 border restrictions will be removed as of Saturday, including the mandatory vaccination, testing, and quarantine of international travel, as well as the requirement for masks on the plane and trains. The cabinet order maintaining the COVID-19 border measures will not be renewed when it expires on September 30th. But the Health Minister, Jean-Yves Duclos, is once again warning all the pandemic restrictions could be reinstated if they are needed. The changes mean foreign nationals will no longer require an approved series of vaccinations to enter the country. In addition, Canada-bound travelers will no longer be subject to random COVID-19 tests, and unvaccinated Canadians will not need to isolate when they return to the country. Ontario's first ever diverging diamond intersection opens this morning, the Ministry of Transportation confirmed. According to the Ministry of Transportation, the interchange has been installed to reduce the gridlock and improve traffic flow for the motorists getting on and off the QEW and the Glendale Avenue. It is supposed to accomplish by this week reconfiguring traffic lane to allow for direct access to all four directional highway ramps. The diverging diamond interchange eliminates the need for motorists to make any left-hand turn when exiting or entering the highway by using a series of interconnected crossover lanes controlled by the traffic lights and highway signage. Police have identified a suspect in connection with an investigation into hidden camera that was found in a Tim Hortons washroom in Hamilton, Ontario. According to investigators, a cell phone was found in woman's stall late Thursday morning. Hamilton resident Emily Hassler spoke to Awaz News on Friday and said her sister found the phone in a pile of garbage while with her young child. She said the phone was attached to a battery pack. Hamilton police confirmed at the time the cell phone was still recording when the officers seized it. On Monday morning, police identified a suspect as a 27-year-old Hamilton resident, Daniel St. Amour, who has been issued his arrest in connection with the investigation. Investigators says he is not an employee of the restaurant. Police say that St. Amour is also wanted by the Hamilton police for numerous other charges, including theft, possession, and failing to comply with the probation order. Residents of Atlantic Canada and Eastern Quebec are coming to terms with the full scope of the damage left behind after the post-tropical storm Fiona tore through the region over the weekend as one of the strongest storms Canada's East Coast has ever faced. Members of the Canadian Armed Forces are being deployed to help with the recovery effort, with the Federal Defense Minister Anita Anand saying Sunday that about 100 troops apiece were either in place or en route to Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and PEI to provide assistance with the cleanup effort. Emergency Preparedness Minister Bill Blair said the immediate need to provide food and shelter for those displaced by the storm, which is why the federal government is matching donation to the Canadian Red Cross.
And bridges if required by the province, and approximately 100 Canadian Armed Forces personnel are available to assist the province if required, with 100 personnel available per province to assist in PEI and Newfoundland as well. And today I am confirming that lead Canadian Armed Forces elements are ready to begin tasks, and that Canadian Armed Forces presence in communities in Nova Scotia will be visible this morning. Turning to PEI, in PEI, following our receipt and acceptance of the province's request for assistance, Canadian Armed Forces are deploying immediately to help with removing vegetation and debris from roadways, to help restore the power grid, and with repairing roadways as required. As of now, over 100 CAF personnel are in the province.
Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly is urging countries to uphold women's rights and abortion access while rooting out the sexual violence as the United Nations General Assembly comes to a close. In a speech today in New York, Joly was summarized Canada's priorities and concerns in foreign relations. That includes being part of the global coalition in support of equality that will defend against the growing attack on women's rights and freedoms, according to the drafted remark in French. Through the drafted section on the women's right doesn't mention the United States, Joly's comment come after a month of backlash to the U.S. Supreme Court allowing the state to ban abortion, with some seeking to prosecute those who help women end their pregnancies in the other jurisdictions.
In Iran, women protesting the death of Mahsa Amini are met with arrests and bullets. We salute their courage and join them in sending a strong message that women's rights are human rights. Today, Prime Minister Trudeau announced that Canada will sanction those responsible, including Iran's so-called morality police and its leadership. From Sudan to Haiti, women peace builders, human rights defenders, and activists are being targeted. We must continue to speak up for the rights of women and girls, and to support, protect, recognize, and include women peace builders. We must also relentlessly pursue accountability for sexual violence. We will continue to push for justice for Rohingya women, and we will not rest until those responsible for sexual violence committed in Ukraine are held to account. The UN Charter enshrines faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of human person, in the equal rights of men and women. And yet, we are seeing rising violence, the widening crackdown.
Cal Dubas knows the clock is ticking, signed to a 5-year contract when he took the reins of Maple Leaf general manager at the age of 32 in spring of 2018. Dubas has helped to lay the groundwork for the franchisee to reach the unparalleled regular season success. Records have been broken and individual achievements celebrated. The playoffs, of course, have been another matter entirely. Minus the deal to remain in Toronto beyond the 2022-2023 campaign, the general manager said on the eve of the training camp he takes no issue with the team's wait-and-see approach regarding his future following a 6th straight postseason, including 4 during his tenure, where Toronto failed to advance. Dubas, who indicated he won't be addressing his future again publicly until after the season, has hung his hat on offensively gifted core led by the 60-goal men Austin Matthew, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, William Nylander, and Morgan Riley.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Simone Cutoni, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.